Greetings, cyberdogs and citizens of the internet, and welcome back to episode 53, season 4 of this Let's Play Minecraft survival series with me, RENDOG'S. Man, how is everybody doing today? I am doing great, thank you very much. In the previous episode, we started setting up this railway line that is going to take us all the way from Grand Molehill Station to our brand new mob spawning, farming, grinding facility of death and undead destruction. And as you guys can see, I've been doing a little bit of work just cleaning up the line. I've opened up the little cave over here that's going to take us all the way back to Grand Molehill Station, set up a couple of the bridges and whatnot, and we are ready to start getting some sweet ass bridges in this sucker over here, man. Hey, there's an apple over here. I'll take that. Thank you. I still don't really know exactly what kind of bridges I want to set up. I'm kind of thinking about making like kind of suspension bridges perhaps. Instead of having like a super long straight bridge, maybe we make it dip down into the jungle basin a bit. That could be pretty cool. Or maybe we even bring the railway line down all the way to the bottom and then make it run along the bottom. I'm not entirely sure how I want it to go. Although I must say, if we run the railway line along here, we get an absolutely glorious view of Mole City, of the Cyberdog Monument, of the Nether Portal Temple. Man, that could actually be pretty sweet. Oh man, decisions. There's so many decisions to make in Minecraft. One of the reasons I love this game, man. The job of a Minecraft artist is never freaking done. Now, what are we doing today? Well, we're heading up in here, and we are going to be working a little bit on the interior. I promised you guys at the end of the last episode that we would spend a little bit of time working on the interior of the first floor of Mob Castle. First and foremost, before we get cracking with any of that sweet jazz, I got some killing to do, baby. The butthole is congested something fierce. Let me tell you guys, there are so many freaking mobs in that butthole right now. It is actually quite scary. I've just been letting it run while I've been fiddling around the place, and I want to kill myself some damn zombies, baby. Oh man, it's murder time. It is murder time. I need to recuperate all of the freaking levels that I've lost dying like a noob around here. Actually, the place isn't as full as I thought it was going to be. Oh man, that's kind of sad. I heard a bunch of noise coming out of this place. Oh, we managed to pick up 2 levels, so that's alright. Oh, I might have despawned those things actually when I went on the railway line. Oh man, facepalm, such a freaking noob. But anyway, guys, as you can see, I've been hard at work trying to basically get the interior of this place finished. The problem that I'm having, of course, is that there's so much detail to do around here that it has taken a long ass time. There's a lot of repetitive stuff that needs to get done. As you can see, lots of slabbage that needs to get added, a bunch of fencage needs to get done, and mostly it's the details around the place that are taking up most of the time. I'm basically, just before I started recording this, I was busy working on the skirting over here, which I think is pretty cool. So we can actually just carry on with this jazz. Got to make this come all the way around the corner like this. But yeah, man, this place is coming along pretty damn nice. I love this first floor. I absolutely love the floor of the place too. It's looking so cool, right? Getting loads of positive comments from you guys also. A lot of you guys saying, Rendog, I absolutely love that floor. It is looking very, very sweet. And you know what? A lot of you guys have also been helping me out with the question that I asked you about finding ways to variate blocks in John Smith. A lot of you guys have been playing John Smith just as long as I have been. And in fact, some of you guys even took time out to alter some of the John Smith textures for me. And I just want to thank all of you guys who took time out of your lives to do that. I've seen some pretty interesting results coming out of it. A lot of you guys have managed to tweak the cobblestone texture so that it looks a little bit less green and fits in a little bit better with the stone walls. So thanks to everybody who's been taking time to do that, guys. Really, really appreciate it. What I'm probably going to do is edit this texture pack myself. And that's what I've been doing over the last couple years or so. Whenever there's a texture that I'm not 100% happy with, I usually tweak it myself. For example, the gold block texture in Granny Dog's Monument, that was actually tweaked by myself. That's not the standard gold texture in John Smith's Legacy. So I'm going to take some inspiration from you fine cyberdogs out there who have been helping me out. with some awesome texture work, and I'm going to see if I can do the same thing on my version of John Smith and try and get to a place that is looking absolutely jazz freaking tastic, baby. But man, we have got a lot of work to do today, my friends. By golly gosh, we got to get all of these things done. All of the details around the first floor need to get in the belly here, guys. It's going to take us a long time to do this. Now, while we're doing this, I thought that you and I could have a little discussion, because it has come to my attention that there is a question that you guys have been asking me for a very long time now. And, I've been hanging out with the Cyberdogs a lot over the last few days, or in fact, over the last couple of weeks, actually, on dogcraft.net. For those of you guys who don't know, dogcraft.net is my official fan site, and it's a free-to-join forum, and we have like a live chat on dogcraft.net also, and I pretty much spend most of the day these days in the chat. So if you want to come and meet me, you can just pop on to dogcraft.net, make an account, it's free to join, and you can come hang out in the chat section with me and the other Cyberdogs. And I've been talking with a lot of Cyberdogs over the last couple of weeks, and what's really, really cool to see is that so many of you guys are in the process of starting or running your own YouTube channels, and it's just so freaking cool to see how much inspiration there is coming out of the Cyberdog Nation to start YouTube channels, to try and do well on YouTube. And one of the questions that I've been getting a lot in the chat is, RenDoG'S, can you give us some advice on how to start a YouTube channel? What do we need to do, man? What are the skills that are required? I am confused. It's very, very difficult. How do I get people to watch my videos? What are the most important things when starting a YouTube channel, and so on and so on? And I thought that in today's episode, while we work a little bit on these details, that I could talk a little bit about that. I started my YouTube channel way back. I think it was in 2011. I think if I look at my stats from my channel, like views and subscribers and stuff start coming in like sort of halfway through 2011. I think that's when I started my channel. So my channel has been around for a long ass time. Damn. It's been like almost 4 years now that we've been going. So I think that, the reason that I didn't want to give advice in the past is because I feel like if I'm going to give advice like this about starting your own YouTube channel and trying to get, a successful YouTube channel going, although the word success is all relative, right? Like it's all about what you classify success as. But let's just, for example, for the sake of argument, say that success is 10,000 subscribers in your book, right? The question is, how can, what are the things that I can do to get my channel to 10,000 subscribers? And, this is a very, very common question that I get asked, and I've been asked this question many, many, many times over the years. And like I was saying, I wanted to wait until I was at a point where I felt comfortable enough to answer the question in an honest way, and in a way where I had enough experience behind me to be able to actually give you guys some useful advice, rather than just like giving you some advice that might be sort of me guessing or trying to figure it out, like just like making it up on the spot. So I think that I do have some pretty good advice that I'd like to share with you guys today about how to start and maintain a YouTube channel, and of course how to become successful, I suppose, on YouTube. And that is a very good place to start, I think. The word success. Now, the word success, I think, is one of the biggest traps that YouTube has for anyone who is starting YouTube. You see, YouTube as a career, or as a lifestyle, I suppose, is a very attractive thing to most people, right? The idea of being able to just play games for a living is an extremely attractive proposition for most people, especially people who, for example, work 9 to 5. Maybe they hate their job. Maybe people at school are not really enjoying school, or they feel like school doesn't challenge them, and they're trying to find something that's more challenging. I can understand like how YouTube is such an interesting prospect for anybody trying to find a different way of living, right? Trying to find a different way of making money in this life. Now, as well as it being a very interesting idea, being a YouTuber, and a very, very awesome dream, right? Like, I mean, talk about an amazing dream, being able to do what you love in this world for a living. I mean, that is the dream that we all have in this life, right? But as well as being all of that, it is also a very, very big trap. And this is what I wanted to start off talking about today. The trap of YouTube as a career, or as an opportunity to not work, or I think that there's a misconception that I want to talk about. You see, I think a lot of people think that being a YouTuber doesn't require a lot of work, that it's kind of an easy way out, I suppose, that if you can somehow get lucky on YouTube, maybe you start a gaming series that does extremely well and suddenly your channel explodes and overnight you have 2 million subscribers and you're making loads of money and all of that stuff. Yes, that does happen. However, let's just think about the number of people that has happened to in reality. I mean, we're talking about a handful of people, right? Like probably less than 20 people over the course of the last couple of years have had that experience of YouTube. So the reality of YouTube is that it is not a free ride into some sort of an amazing life that all you do is play games and make videos of them and stick them on YouTube, and then suddenly your life is made and you never have to worry about working again. On the contrary, I can tell you honestly, as someone who has been working in the real world for many, many years. I mean, I worked in real jobs for, it must have been, about 7 or 8 years before I started doing YouTube, right? And so I know what it's like to work a 9 to 5. I've been there. And in fact, I am still there working a 9 to 5. And let me tell you something. With all the experience that I have had working in a real job, I can tell you now, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, doing YouTube, and when I say doing YouTube, I mean doing YouTube properly, which is something we're going to talk about in a moment. But doing YouTube properly is way harder and much more work than any freaking 9 to 5 that I've ever worked in. Of course, there are 9 to 5 jobs out there where you work exceptionally hard, where you work your damn ass off. That is no doubt. I'm not going to deny that. However, I am going to say that working on YouTube is, for me, the most challenging thing that I've ever done, and way more challenging than any job that I've ever wanted to work. And you know, I kind of hesitated there because I was about to call YouTube a job. And you know what? In a way, it is a job. It's a job because every day you have a certain number of tasks that you must fulfill. I mean, you don't have a boss. You are your own boss. But you do have a schedule and a list of to-dos that you have to do. And if you don't do those things, then your YouTube channel will not function in an optimal way. So in a way, having a YouTube channel and having a YouTube channel that's consistent, which is what we're going to be talking about now, is in fact pretty much the same as having a job, but harder than any job that you've ever had in your whole damn life. Oh my goodness. All right, let me just have a look. I'm trying to find a little bit more dark oak wood. Just run out of dark oak wood over there. Oh man, that is kind of annoying. Our beam is like halfway finished. Oh man, I just thought I heard a creeper sneak up behind me. But check it out, man. This is starting to look pretty decent, right? I'm digging this. I think we got to do a little bit more skirting around the circumference here, though. Let's just have a look. Just do a little bit of scouting. My brain doesn't work very well when I'm talking and crafting at the same time. I'm sorry, guys. It's just the unfortunate reality of my brain. It doesn't function very, very well. Multitasking and myself are not very good friends. I wanted to try something, actually. Let's try something here, and we can start talking about the next part of what I wanted to talk about today. So, we've established that having a YouTube channel is a tricky thing. Now, what I was talking about right before I started off talking about that was success. And success on YouTube is an extremely relative term. Success can range anything from getting 1 million subscribers, making loads of money, having sponsors, getting invited to, appear on TV and all of that sort of sweet jazz, to something even simpler like having every single one of my subscribers absolutely love my content and absolutely watch all of my videos whenever they can and give me amazing feedback every time I post a video. And the criteria for success on YouTube swings somewhere. It's a pendulum that swings in between those two things. Everybody who is on YouTube, of course, wants to be successful, wants to be able to say, I can do this full time, I can do this for my job. But at the same time, the majority of YouTubers want to also make content that they are proud of, that they think is really awesome and that people really enjoy. Of course, there are the YouTubers out there who are 100% in it for the money, and they are doing everything that they possibly can to figure out ways to use YouTube to make money for themselves. And you know what? That's also totally cool. That is just another choice on the long ass difficult road of being a YouTuber. But whatever your choice is, whatever kind of YouTuber you want to be, whether it's a success driven by money, or a success driven by fame, or a success driven by art, whatever your criteria for success is, I want you to define that criteria before you start. And let me try and explain to you why that's important. The reason that's important is because from the very first day that you start recording videos on YouTube, you need to have a goal. You need to set yourself a light at the end of the freaking YouTube tunnel. You need to have something to work towards. And even though that goal seems impossible to achieve, and I can promise you now that it will seem impossible to achieve, starting up a YouTube channel, uploading your first video, and perhaps your first goal is, say, getting 100 views on my video. If that is your first goal, I can promise you now, getting those 100 views is going to be extremely hard. You are going to toil your ass off to hit those 100 views. And the next time you have a new goal, say it's to get 1,000 views, you're going to toil your butthole off to get those 1,000 views, and so on and so on. But it is extremely important that you set those goals from the very first outset. And let me tell you why. When you upload that video, you go to sleep and you can't wake up the next morning to see how your video is done on YouTube. You need to always be keeping in the back of your mind, what is my goal? What am I aiming for? That light at the end of the tunnel, I can see it shimmering. It's there. I'm very far away from it, but you know what? If I put the work in, I will eventually get to that light. And it's all about having that goal shining at all times while you are going through this crazy process of becoming a YouTuber. Because for a very, very long time, your experience on YouTube will be difficult. It will be amazing. I mean, there is nothing quite like making videos and putting them on YouTube and having people from all over the world enjoy it. I mean, that's what keeps us coming back. That's the best part of the whole thing. But achieving your goals, right, whatever those goals may be, that's going to be the true grind. That's where the real test of a YouTuber comes in, because it's going to take a long time for those goals to be achieved. And that actually looks pretty awesome, doesn't it? This mix of andesite and slabbage. You know what? I'm going to try this instead. I think that just having slabbage as the side passages is a little bit yellow, right? It looks a little bit too yellow for my taste. Let's try and mix it up a bit, actually. This might be pretty awesome. So, tip number 1 for starting your own YouTube channel: set yourself a goal from the very first day. And whenever you're feeling like you cannot achieve your goal, or that things are getting too difficult, or that nothing's happened on your channel, nobody's watching your videos, think about that goal. Close your eyes and visualize that little dot of light at the end of the YouTube channel, YouTube tunnel, and know that even though that dot of light is miles and miles away, it is still a dot of light, and that means that it is still achievable if you put in the work. So that's going to be my very first bit of advice for you guys who are starting out a YouTube channel. Now, the second most important bit of advice that I want to give you guys is going to be focused on passion. And, you know, one of the most important things that I think about what makes a YouTube channel a good channel, or what makes a YouTuber a good YouTuber, is that he or she enjoys what they do. And you know what the crazy thing about YouTube is? because it's such a personal experience, because it's normal people creating videos for other normal people. It's not a film studio. It's not a giant budget. It's just normal folk like you and me getting together and enjoying games together. The crazy thing is that because we are basically, we have so much in common. We're basically just normal freaking people. Because of that, we can also tell when somebody is not enjoying themselves on YouTube. Think about it. How many times have you watched a series or you've started watching a new YouTuber and you can just feel in your soul that this YouTuber is not enjoying what he's doing? In fact, you know what? I can even admit that on my channel, there have been periods of time where I have not been enjoying what I have been doing. And some of you guys who've been with me for a very long time, you guys will know exactly what I'm talking about. There were periods, even in this series, where I went through 10, 15, 20 episodes of Minecraft Survival, not really enjoying it. And you know what? You guys can hear it. You guys can pick it up. The viewer instantly knows whether or not a YouTuber is enjoying themselves or not. And you know what happens when the viewer realizes that that YouTuber is not enjoying themselves? That viewer doesn't enjoy it either. So it's utterly important, guys, that if you're going to start this crazy journey, if you're going to dedicate yourself to reaching that light at the end of the tunnel, if you're going to set your criteria for success and do whatever it takes to reach those criteria, you need to be able to enjoy every single second of it. And of course, there will be periods where you don't enjoy it, and that is totally normal and totally fine. But at the end of the day, you need to enjoy everything that you do on YouTube. And I'm talking everything, my friends. I'm talking about enjoying even the mundane things. For example, editing the videos, uploading the videos, setting up the descriptions of the videos, the titles, going onto social media and putting your videos onto Facebook and Twitter and all the other websites that you might be putting your videos on. Every single task that you do on YouTube, you need to enjoy it and you need to have a passion for it, because if you don't have passion in this game, you will not make it. That's just my personal opinion. Of course, there are exceptions to that rule, like I was talking about earlier, people who have found ways to use YouTube in different ways, exploiting search terms and finding gaps in the market and all of that sort of stuff. Of course, there are exceptions to the rule, but if you're just a normal person who doesn't get that sort of lucky roll of the dice where you just crack a series or you start playing a game that explodes, you need to make sure that every second that you are doing this crazy ass business called YouTube, you are loving it. And that, I think, guys, is an extremely important bit of advice. And it's a bit of advice that that I have, worked very, very hard to maintain myself. And I think that it's also important, just as a little side note on this, if you feel you go through periods on YouTube where perhaps you're not feeling it, you're not maybe enjoying your time recording, or you're getting frustrated with everything, it's totally okay and totally healthy, I believe, to take a break from it all. And I encourage people all the time who are perhaps struggling on YouTube, who are perhaps having a hard time, or are feeling very frustrated with what's going on YouTube, to take a break, just to take it easy, take a few weeks off from recording, and every single time you come back, you feel refreshed, you feel ready to go, because you know what we do here on YouTube is one of the most awesome things that anybody can do, especially if you've got a passion for it. So that's my second really important bit of advice, guys, and don't underestimate the importance of this advice. Without the passion, there will be no drive, and without the drive, there will be no consistency, and without the consistency, there will be no YouTube channel. That's what it's all about, my friends. Now, the next very important little bit of advice that I can give you guys, other than always trying to reach that light at the end of the YouTube channel, setting your criteria for success and enjoying every single second of it, is to ensure that the content that you make is as good of a quality as you can possibly make it. I know that a lot of you guys don't have a big budget. Perhaps you can't afford to buy really good microphones or really good recording software and so on and so forth. But guys, I gotta tell you, man, it is so important, especially now in this day and age of YouTube, that your content is of immaculate standards. And it has always been a philosophy of mine on YouTube. A lot of you guys will know that you should never, ever stop trying to make your content better. Never, ever stop trying to improve your quality. Even if your very first video is done with a very cheap mic and maybe it doesn't sound that great, make sure that you have got that cheap ass mic recording as best as you can humanly get it recording. Make sure that whatever recording software you're using is recording your video at the highest possible resolution that it can, and that when you edit it all, it looks as awesome as it possibly can. Don't ever get lazy with the production of your art, guys. If it's going to take you 3 or 4 hours to edit a video to make it perfect, then that's how it's going to be. And you know what will happen when that video goes onto YouTube and someone, a brand new person who has never watched one of your videos, watches that video and sees the quality? You know what they think to themselves? This YouTuber cares about their content. This YouTuber has passion for their videos. This YouTuber has passion for their art. And you know what? I'm gonna hit that subscribe button, because this is the kind of YouTuber I can get behind. Don't underestimate the importance of quality, guys. Make sure that whatever circumstances you have with creating content for YouTube, you are doing it to the best of your damn abilities, man. And if you are going to do this thing seriously, guys, you need to start thinking about a way to invest in better equipment. You need to get a better microphone. You need to get better recording software. You need to get more hard drive space. You need to slowly but surely upgrade your hardware, the stuff that you use to record, because YouTube is the recording of games or the recording of video. And if you can't do that, the bare minimum of what YouTube is, as best as you possibly can, it ain't gonna work out. So that's a very important bit of advice, guys, and please, please, please take that one to heart. You need to make sure that you are doing whatever you can to try and upgrade your recording software and your editing software. I tell you what I'm going to do. In the comments, in the description box of this video, I'm going to give you guys a list of everything that I use to create YouTube videos, okay? I think that'll help you guys a lot. I will put down my computer specs. I will put down what software I use, what editing software I use, what recording software I use, my graphics card, what microphone I use, and all of that sweet jazz. And I hope that that'll help some of you guys to figure out how you want to set up your YouTube studio. I mean, how cool is that, right? You are going to be setting up a studio to create videos. And you know, I was just talking about passion. Nothing gets my blood cooking like the thought that I can come home from work and sit in my studio with all of my awesome stuff, all of my awesome hardware, and make YouTube videos for you guys. It makes me so happy. It gets me up every single morning, and it's just the most amazing thing that I've ever done in my life, and I love every single second of it. And I want you guys who are trying to do the same thing to feel exactly the same. And a really good way to do that is to get your setup to a place where you feel 100% comfortable, where you feel like, this is my zone, baby. This is where the magic happens, right up in my studio. And yeah, that's a really, really important bit of advice, guys. Make sure that your quality of video is as good as it can be. And let me tell you why it's so important. YouTube has changed quite a lot over the last few years. You know, before, what you could do is you could record a video in Fraps, for example, upload that sucker to YouTube, bam, get a whole bunch of views, and be happy with it. And that's because the whole recording games on YouTube was such a new thing. No one had really been doing it yet. So, you know, even just having something to watch was really awesome for viewers, because it was such a new medium. It was such a new form of entertainment. But you know what, guys? It's now been in place for a few years now. And your average YouTube gaming video is of exceptionally high quality. And the viewer is now expecting that quality to be high. Every single time they watch a new video, they are expecting super high quality. So just think about that, right? A really good rule of thumb is to say, if you can't make a video that you yourself as a YouTube viewer would be happy to watch, then your video ain't going to do very well on YouTube. If you're not willing to even watch your own video, then don't bother making it, right? I know it sounds a little bit harsh, guys, but I just want you guys to make sure that when you start this process, you are 100% ready for it. You're 100% ready for the everything that's going to be coming your way, for the joys, for the disappointments, for the adrenaline rushes, for the surges, for the downtime, for the happiness, for the sadness, for all of the amazing things that come with being a YouTuber. And what I can tell you, friends, is that it is worth every single little bit of work that you've got to put in to make it happen. It is just the most amazing experience in the entire world, and I want all of you guys who are striving to become YouTubers to really, really do whatever it takes to make your dreams come true. And even if those dreams are going to take a long ass time to get there, never ever give up. And that, of course, is my final little bit of advice to you guys, to never give up. This game, if you can call it a game, is a long haul game. All right. I was having a chat with Iskal about all of this the other day, and he gave me a really interesting little bit of advice. Man, the man is so freaking smart. I love that damn Swede. But you know what he told me? He said to me, think about how long it might take you to get really successful in a job, right? Not only would you be having to work in that job for many, many years, you would also be spending many, many years at university and at school to be prepared for that job. You would need to get that job. You would need to stay in that job. You would need to do a whole bunch of work that you don't want to do in order to slowly but surely level up and eventually get to a point where you can get a promotion or something like that, and you can suddenly become like a boss or something like that, right? And that is so freaking true if you think about it. The same applies to success on YouTube. You can't go into making YouTube videos thinking that in a year's time you're gonna have 1 million subscribers, or in 2 years' time you're gonna have loads of money and you're gonna have loads of subscribers and it's gonna be amazing and you're gonna be bigger than PewDiePie in 2 years' time. That you can't go in thinking like that. You can go in with that as an ambition or as a criteria for success. As I mentioned earlier, that is an absolutely valid criteria for success. But if your expectations are that is what's going to happen to you, man, you're in. It ain't going to be pretty when it doesn't happen to you. So think about it in the way that Iskal was telling me about it, right? Even it might take you 10 years to become very successful in a job. Maybe on YouTube it won't take that long, but you still need to put in the time, baby. You still need to put in those long ass hours. If you need to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to record videos for a year, for 2 years, for 3 years, well, you know what? That's what it's going to take. And you have to be ready. And you have to be prepared, my friends, to put in that time, to put in that work, to make those sacrifices, to be tired, to be, always thinking about what video you're going to be doing next, to always thinking about what content you're going to be making next, to always thinking about how you can be improving your channel, improving your video quality, improving your studio, doing whatever you can mentally, physically, and emotionally to make your dream come true. That is what you need to be doing to make it on YouTube. And when we talk about making it on YouTube, we're not necessarily talking about millions of subscribers and thousands of dollars. We are talking about creating content that you can be proud of, that you can go to sleep at night after that long ass day of working and creating Minecraft videos and thinking about Minecraft every single damn second of the day. You can go to bed thinking, you know what? What I do here makes me proud. What I do here is beautiful, and what I do here people appreciate. And that, my friends, in my opinion, is the best criteria for success that you can have on YouTube. It's your art, and I don't want you guys to ever forget about that. Now, I've been rambling on for a long ass time. I do apologize for the super talky episode today, guys, but it was just a little talk that I wanted to have with you guys. I might do this again sometime, actually. You know, it was actually quite cool talking with you guys about this, because it reminds me of, everything that I've done on YouTube also, and it's been kind of cool to think about it and to be able to share this advice with you guys. I hope that it is going to go. I hope that it will be useful for you guys. Now, I've just finished off laying down this floor. I absolutely love this new floor over here. It looks so cool. However, there's a problem over here. Looks like we got a bit of a symmetry break going on over here, and I think it might be because I started this sequence incorrectly. But I'm going to have to try and figure that one out, guys. Hopefully I'll be able to fix that one. And it sounds like the butthole is once again completely stacked with some juicy undead mobs. Oh, goodness. Look at that. Baby, that's 34 minutes of RENDOG'S rambling on. Look how many balls we get for that, man. This feels like a reward for talking for 35 minutes, man. I talk for 35 minutes, I'm rewarded with balls. Oh, man. Holy goodness. That was a pretty good haul right there, right, guys? We got like 4 levels out of that, which is really sweet. And once we get our dark rooms installed, that will probably increase quite dramatically. So that is awesome. Man, I'm so excited for this build. Man, it is looking totally awesome around here though, guys. And thank you so much for watching this video. Before I waste any more of your time today, I'm going to say goodbye. And for all of you YouTubers out there, I wish you nothing but the best of luck. Remember what I told you, guys. Goals, passion, quality, and never ever giving up. That is what you guys need to keep in mind if you're going to start doing YouTube. Thank you so much for watching, my friends. This has been RENDOG'S playing Minecraft Survival. We'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye, my friends.